So let's ask, and let's try to answer the question, flamers in Battletech. This is pulling from a comment from a previous video where we were exploring some different lance builds, and the question was utilizing flamers in Battletech, and the idea of maybe washing mechs with hot, I was going to say promethium, but that's 40K, washing them with just hot suds and jacking up that heat scale and maybe causing catastrophic things to happen, or perhaps even scorched earth, burning woods, and terrain. So the use of flamers on a mech. My thoughts and my experience, on the one hand, I love things like this. I love things in war games that are a little bit unique, or to pull it off, so to speak, you have to have the right tech and tools, you have to be in the right position, and you have to know when tactically in the flow of the game to do it. So certainly there's an appeal to these units, and I like to kind of, every time I build a lance, on a slight side tangent, I try to build my lance solid. I like to take mechs that are just really solid and work. I play a few of my favorite machines, and then I also like to just take one or two mechs or vehicles that I would call experimental tech, say like the fire starter or an experimental tank, just to see how it plays out, to try to do something. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I haven't spent so much battle value that my list is crippled. So trying to put in and pull out these individual pieces. My experience with flamers, burning woods, burning targets, maybe once or twice I did it. On the hex maps, unless it's specifically dense woods, there's not a lot, in my opinion, tactically to be gained from burning things. And the fluidity of most mechs, even heavy mechs, there's good mobility with mechs. So they can kind of run around those burning areas, or they can get into positions where you can't. And the one challenge with the flamer, of course, is the extreme short-range nature of it. Not so much a problem against the static target, but against a moving target, you want to be literally point blank. With the Firestarter, this could be a little bit dangerous because you're a light mech. Other mechs that would mount a flamer that have higher tonnage and better armor, okay, you can get close and do that, and certainly you're going to open up with your brace of weapons, everything else, but you're going to be in range for that return fire and that punch, physical attacks, kicking, things like that. Burning out city fight. This is where, we kind of get into war crime territory. Being able to burn infantry, ignite certain targets, ignite certain buildings, scorched earth. I have done that, and I have found value in that, tactical value in that, in a city fight environment, especially in terms of positioning. Because again, the short-range nature of the flamer, you have surrounding buildings and trees and other urban terrain. It's very easy to sneak up. It's very easy to run up. And should you try and approach, if you get into a position where your opponent is going to engage you, there's a lot of places you can disengage and run and hide. So ironically, this idea of flamers, I think, works better in an urban environment. Washing over mechs. Honestly, I've tried to do it. It raised the heat scale a little bit. Didn't do much else, and again, I'm exposed to that return fire. I could see if you were playing against me, and I'm running a Stalker or I'm running a Warhammer, I'm always pushing the heat. Look, you can't give me that many guns. You can't give me multiple PPCs and expect me to show any type of restraint. I'm always running hot, and tactically, I know better, and I can restrain myself if I'm playing super competitively. But if it's a narrative game, like I want to push the heat, I want to push the guns, I want to push everything out there. If you engage me, I am going to be running hotter than normal. So I could see maybe you pushing me up a little bit higher. I won't say ammo explosion or shutdown, although it's come close a couple of times with my Stalker. But I could see you messing with my movement and messing up with other little pieces. Is that worth the price of admission? Is that worth sinking in the battle value? My advice would be tying this back into building the lance. Build a solid lance. Build an all-takers, all-challenges lance with some solid mechs. Incorporate some of your favorite mechs and leave whatever the standard battle value you're building at. leave enough battle value for one or two of these specialized toys, and try to get the models and swap them in and out. So if you want to try a flamer angle, and you're going to include a fire starter or some of the vehicles that can do this, then just make sure you have the rest covered. Just make sure you're solid in the other areas. So it's not like this one kind of something special has to happen, certain positioning, certain everything. If that doesn't align, your entire lance is just blown out of the water.